Hello, Roberto here for another video review. It's a special one as always. It's the new Cadbury Dairy Milk Breakaway Mint. Yes, dairy milk chocolate with layers of crispy wafer and creme and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre. Well, this is a Cadbury Australia bar, as you might have guessed. I got it from B&M, no, I didn't get it from Australia. Yeah, and Breakaway is basically their rebranding of Timeut. So they did used to have Timeut quite recently, actually, until maybe a year and a half ago, maybe two at most, but I think a bit more recent than that. But they've rebranded it as Breakaway, basically. And then they're doing lots of different ones in the range. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So you can still get, I think they call it Twirl Breakaway for the actual Timeut bar nowadays. But they've done lots of different variations of it, and now they do dairy milk, sort of big blocks of it, or based on it with this wafer centre. They did a caramel milk one as well, if I recall correctly. I'm sure I reviewed it. Yeah, so very much an interesting one. But when I did review this sort of dairy milk bars of these in the past, they were kind of I don't know, had lots of gappage in them basically at the top. So we'll see if that's the case with this one. I imagine it will be. But yeah, it says it's got mint cream in it, which is interesting. Wafer and creme and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre. So it's interesting actually. It's got a crispy wafer and creme and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre. So it's got both. It's got like a wafer creme, whatever that is, and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre as well. So interesting. We'll see what all that's about. So what else then? We can see it's got the watermarking. That's come to the UK now. It was just in Cadbury Australia for a time. You can see it there. Established, was it 1905, is it? Yeah. Milk, dairy milk. More milk, yeah. Alright, there we go. Interesting, yeah. The glass and a half symbol, stuff like that. It's got the cocoa blend there, 100% sustainable source cocoa. As always, I would always check out what that means, because 100% is a bold claim, and I'm sure sustainably sourced isn't objective. So, yeah, so I would look into that, just in case it's important to you. Or just anyway, really. I think it's something to consider. But, yeah, 180 gram bar. Got on the back, it's got the input sticker here, nutrition information. So per 100 grams, 554 calories, 34.1 grams of fat, 19.7 of which is saturates. And per serving, let's say what serving is. Well, it actually does, yes. Serving size 15 grams, one piece. So 82.9 calories. So for one piece, 90 calories. 5.1 grams of fat, 3 of which are saturates. So it's very calorific, very, very calorific. Australia, they kind of do it in kilojoules rather than kilocalories. We do it in kilojoules as well in the UK, but we generally go off the kilocalories. Now, it's a bit confusing. Servings per package 12, serving size approximately 15 grams. Well, yeah, I guess it does actually. For once, it does go into 180. There is 12 15 grams in 180 grams. So normally it doesn't add up, but it does in this case. So that's quite yeah, that makes a change, that, because normally in Australia it says serving size per or servings per pack 7.2 or something like that, and it doesn't add up either way. But this one actually does. And there's the full information there. Let's look at it there on the left as well. Well, the get in touch things, and the dairy milk, the gas and a half device. There's device there, and the colour purple are trademarks used under license. There's some addresses there: Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia as well. All right, there we go. And more stuff about the cocoa pan. We believe that tasting good and doing good should go hand in hand. Right, and there's yeah, more information here. So what's it got in it? Anything of interest? Doesn't have any palm oil, I don't believe. Vegetable oil, peppermint oil. Raisin agent E500. So milk chocolate taste, cocoa solids 27%, milk solids minimum 24%. There's some allergen information there. There's the input stuff. If you look there, it says it's got raisin agent 500. If you look here, it says it's got raisin agent E500. So the E number is just basically a European Union classification. Yeah. So it's just, but in Australia it's just 500. So, E numbers don't, it's just literally just an ID of something. So anything could have an ID. So for instance, vitamin C might have an ID, an E number, but it's just sometimes just sort of need to be specific with the ID on some things to say what it actually is without, perhaps it's easy for people to read to see it says raisin agent. So it's a raisin agent, but if they told you what it actually was, it probably wouldn't come across as actually raisin agent, something like that anyway. That's what I imagine. Same information down there, it seems. It says, you can see product contains milk chocolate 60%, choc mint flavoured centre 26%, and wafer and creme layers 14%. 74, so it does add up to 100%. That's quite good. Sometimes they don't. And please store in the cool, dry conditions. Once open, store in an airtight container. Okay, anything else of interest? Not too sure. Okay, return to store to recycle that stuff there, but yeah, might be the same in the UK actually. That I know in Ireland it seems to have things where you can recycle at home and not have to return to store. Okay, I don't think there's much more to say, so without further ado, let's move myself down, give it an open. Let's do it. Okay, everyone, going to give this, new Cadbury Dairy Milk Breakaway Mint an open from Australia. Yeah, basically a sort of, essentially Breakaway is, it's not a Breakaway from the UK, it's basically their rebranding of Timeut, essentially. It still did Timeut in Australia for quite some time up until recently, and they've done, from that they just call it Twirl Breakaway now, so it's the Timeut, but it's Twirl Breakaway. It doesn't always work. For instance, they've got like a Breakaway mint, you know, so there's no twirl mention, just a Breakaway side of it. But yeah, all right, let's give it an open now. So technically, I've done about 1,030 reviews, believe it or not. So if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. A little flow wrapper indication there to open it. You see that arrow there. In the top right corner, put a link to place all my other reviews, well, some related ones. Struggling to open this. Such as other Cadbury Australia ones, other Dairy Milk ones, other mint ones, other Breakaway ones, other Timeout ones maybe as well. So all that sort of thing. Yep, so after you watch this, go check those out. Hope you enjoy those too. Or after you click like and subscribe, of course, as well. Alright, so there we go. Some lovely mint smell coming from it. As you'd expect, typical mint smell. You can see those little dimples there, can't you? You see those dimples? What's the opposite of a dimple? A protrusion? I'm sure there's a name. Pimple? I don't know. Dear me, I'm sure there's a better name. Protrusions, I don't know. Anyway, lumps, there we go. I don't know what they're about. They're interesting, aren't they? Yeah, seem to be prominent in some bits more than others, but they do seem to be there for the most part. A bit of breakage there, unfortunately, so we'll give it a bit of a measure before I lift it out, just on the back, so we can it should be a bit easier. All right, so about 17.3 centimeters there. I think I'll just continue on. Normally I use the calipers, but I think I'll just use the measuring stick in this case. About 8.5 centimeters in width. All right. Okay, well, we've used calipers for the height, I think, but we'll, yeah, it's a bit melty today. It's warm in the house. And then I've got a new computer monitor as well. My old one just went kaput. I had to get a new one, but it's just like a radiator. It just radiates heat. So all the studio lightings and things. It's a bit of a nightmare, but we'll get there. All right, so okay, let's just measure this one quickly. All right, so the height of this one, just check it's on 0. Yes, it was. Okay, about 1.5, and in between the segments, 1.2. All right, so obviously it's not as wide at the top either. There we go, you can see what it looks like there. So there's nice, lots of blocks. There's one of these blocks that says 90 calories. There you go, yeah. You see this, I'll turn the whole thing over. See, it's nice and melty. There we go, yeah, so there we are. So it's basically 12 blocks, there we go. So not too bad there. It's quite a nice looking bar. Of it, so you can see. There we go. You can see it's it's been a bit squished a bit, and I think that's not. I think that's basically because it's just a bit empty in the middle. You know, there's those gaps in it. You know, which doesn't help keep its shape. I wouldn't have said. Okay, so let's take these 4 away. Give them a bit of a chop. I think I'll just chop it actually rather than snap it. I'm trying to limit my touching it as much as possible, basically, because it's so warm today. Alright, so there we go, you can see it there, quite a thick chocolate on the outside, this wafer in the middle, so it's basically sort of wafer, chocolate and wafer. Now I do love chocolate wafer and biscuity pieces in my chocolate and things, but let's just have a look, let's just take this chocolate topper off, I'm sure. Alright, so it's not too bad. Previous ones I've had, they have been a bit of see there's not much of an air pocket there. I've experienced lots of air pockets with other Breakaway Dairy Milk products, but this one seems okay. And there you go, look, you can see there just the air pocket there. That's the cream basically. So the cream, you see this bit, it's not chocolate, well it probably is chocolate, it's that chocolate cream it's talking about there. So you see above the chocolate there's this cream layer here. And sometimes there's an air pocket between that and the top of the chocolate, or the bottom of the chocolate, you know. Yeah, what's the, unfortunately it's difficult to get the description now because of the... Yeah, so Dairy Milk chocolate with layers of crispy wafer and creme and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre. Okay, so I don't know whether that's the mint centre or not, but we'll find that out. I think it's just between the... I think that's the mint cream. I think the other creme is the bonds between the wafer there. Alright, yeah. We'll find that out when we taste it. So speaking of which, let's lift myself up, give it a taste. Okay then everyone, well it's a bit creased, but we're about to taste the new Cadbury Dairy Milk Breakaway Mint Yes, you can see dairy milk chocolate with layers of crispy wafer and creme and a creamy choc mint flavoured centre. Yeah, so there we go. So basically Breakaway is Cadbury Australia's rebranding of Timeut, which is still was in existence until maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And they've rebranded it as Twirl Breakaway now. So, but they do other Breakaway things as part of that sort of rebranding in dairy milk blocks and things like that. So it's basically just dairy milk with wafer but cream as well. So yeah, so I think we just need to get into it. So it comes in these big, massive blocks that are like 90 calories each. It goes 12 of these to the bar. Basically on top of this chocolate bit there, it's a bit floppy, you see, because it has like a cream, the mint cream layer, I assume, underneath it. See, we removed it earlier on, this bit here. It comes on top of the wafer, and it makes it a bit soft on top. It means that the bar is susceptible to basically being a bit squishy because well, there's a bit of a gap between the chocolate and the cream, normally anyway, and also it's just soft generally. So, all right, well, let's give it a taste. Let's see. Oh, wow. I'll tell you what. That's pretty nice, actually. Cadbury Australia dairy milk is not known for being great, actually. I've always had a bit of trouble with it. It's never tasted as good as the UK one. But in this case, yeah, it's just, it doesn't matter because of the mint flavour. And the mint flavour is really quite good, actually. It's quite nice. It's got a lovely crunch. I must say, it's, yeah. It's just a lovely set of textures. The chocolate's nice and creamy. And the mint cream works very well, actually. I think when I reviewed the caramel Breakaway bar, and that was very disappointing. I was very disappointed with that. It just didn't work generally, really, despite the fact it was caramel. And I really like the Australia caramel bar. But this one, it just does. It just really does. I think the cream, it works really well with the mint flavouring, and with the chocolate as well, and the wafer. It just all works really well. Yeah, let's just try this cream and see if that is mint cream. Yeah, I think it is. It's quite subtle as well. It's quite nice. We've got this other one here, which is just a block without the cream. Let's give that a go. Yeah, can't directly taste mint in that part, but lovely. I think it's just a sort of cream on the top, but lovely. Yeah, just really, really nice. The chocolate's quite soft. I think it's quite warm today, so maybe it will be normally a bit harder. I don't know, but yeah, it's just really nice, actually. I must say, I'm quite impressed with this one. I was expecting it to be a bit rubbish, actually, full of air pockets and things. But the air pockets, I've not, from what I've seen, I've not noticed them being as prominent as they were in previous, well, in the caramel one, for instance. But you know, maybe if I see if I can, I've just lifted that up there. You can see it's not, you know, there isn't really any air pockets there that I can see. It's not as noticeable. Yeah, I mean, you can sort of see there, you know, where the cream separated that hole at the top. That's where I'd expect the air pocket to be. It's not too bad. You can see it kind of fills in quite well, actually. So in this case, you know, there might be a slight one, but it's not as bad as the caramel one, which was just terrible. It really was, you know. But yeah, wow, this is very nice. I must admit, it's a real surprise. I was expecting a worse, which again might be more, you know, to why I'm very impressed with it. You know what I mean? When you're expecting the worst, and it's actually really nice. You know, it does really sort of make a big difference. That, you know, it does really sort of surprise you quite a lot, and you know, and I am surprised. Yeah, it's just really nice. And if mint's not my favourite flavour in the world, I don't love mint products. You know, if I see a mint product, I don't think, oh, you know, I need to get that one. I love it. I usually think, oh, you know, mint again. You know, not too sure. But some mint products really work. And the winter mint crisp was probably the chief among them in the UK dairy milk bar. Lovely bar, that one. It's, I don't know what I gave it at the time, but I think nowadays it would be a 5 out of 5 for sure. I think I did give it a 5 out of 5, but I'm quite sure it would be that, or very close, 4.5 at least. This one, it's just really nice. It's got similar components, wafer rather than sort of crunchy bits. But the chocolate, I should say, is probably, you know, it isn't really dairy milk as far as you'd know in the UK. You certainly wouldn't taste this thinking, oh, it's quite a distinctive chocolate. It tastes quite normal. But it's really helped by the fact that you've got that cream topper and the sort of mint flavour, and as well the cream between the wafer bits as well. It's just got lots going on here, and it's proportioned very well. There's lots of wafer. I didn't quite work out what those dimples were at the bottom, actually. I'm going to try and work those out before, won't we? But see, there's sort of dimples there. I don't know what they are. I think it must just be the bottom of the wafer, I think. Yeah, it must just be the wafer coming through, you can see. Yeah, it must just be the bottom of the wafer layer, I don't know. It must be make it stick to it properly or something like that. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, it'd be impossible to find out that, you know, just literally melting the chocolate off, I think, and then you just have a soggy wafer, so I'm not sure it's worth it. But yeah, very nice, this one. I think it just all works really well. It's just a well-balanced sort of bar that every component really complements the rest of it. And it's, I'll say, after the disappointment of the caramel breakaway bar, this one is just in a different league. It really is. I don't know why. I think it's just the fact I think it's just the fact that the cream, the mint flavour, the chocolate, and the way it's just a way for everything, and the cream between the wafer, it just all works beautifully well together. I'm saying I'm not a massive mint chocolate fan either, but this one really works for me. It's a lovely subtle mint flavour. It's not too strong. It just allows you to enjoy all of it, you know. Yeah. Yeah, and wafer, I do like wafer with chocolate, you know, wafer and biscuity pieces. They just really work well for me. I like that extra crunch and that extra texture, and this obviously has it. So, yeah, I'm just really happy with this. I think, well, I don't think I might give it a 5 out of 5. Maybe I could. I was saying about before the Winter Mint Crisp, that would be a 5 out of 5. Maybe it would be more 4.5. I don't know. Maybe it could have something else in it. I don't know. But this one, it's got creams in, it's got textures in, it's got wafer bits in. It is really nice. Yeah, I think maybe the chocolate could be better, but you know, as I say, does it matter? Because when I say better, tastes better, like the dairy milk sort of have that sort of velvety goodness that the UK dairy milk has. But does it matter because you got the mint flavour with this one? So, but I would say it doesn't have that. You know, it's labelled as Timeut. It doesn't have any of that sort of layered goodness that Timeut had. That with the chocolates in between the wafer layers, it's sort of layered and things. It's not like that at all in this one. It's just a sort of straight cream of chocolate between it. You can see there, it doesn't have the pearls of chocolate between the wafer here like the UK one did. Timeut, you know what I mean? It's more like a Kit Kat, that one. So yeah, so I would say that. But with all that in mind, yeah, I think for me it ticks all the boxes. I'm going to say a 5 out of 5. You know, I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's more towards, you know, more towards, well, than what, they don't go higher than 5, does it really? But it's not too far from a 4.5 out of 5. It's definitely on the edge there, but I'm just so impressed with it. It just really ticks all the boxes. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for sure. Nice one, this one. Definitely recommended. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye for now. See ya. Chocolate fingers. Bye.